think our intro's come.
Did you hear a bump in the night?
You ever look at your person?
Bump in the night. Bump in the night. Did you hear a bump in the night? Bump in the night. Bump in the night.
We're having all kinds of issues right now. We're having sound issues and camera issues, everything else. Welcome to Bumpin' the Night Society presents Exploring Your Society. I'm your host, Sean Bowman.
I'm your co-host, Phil K.
What up?
Why don't everybody just go around and introduce themselves?
Well, hello. We are ACG Paranormal. I'm Nat, and this is Elliot. We're a paranormal team, and we're happy to talk with all you guys. We love Bumpin' the Night Society. I am the leader. Elliot's our tech. I figured I just will speak for him because it's so much easier. And then we'll go down the line here of the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm Kat. I'm the historian and investigator.
I'm Aaron. I've been with this team for about a year and a half now. And I do tech. I help out with the group. I make merch, some merch, not my own merch, I should say. And yeah, it's been a great time. I love Bumpin' the Night. Thank you for having us.
Hey, I'm Joe, and I'm brand new, and I'm the roadie and merch guy.
That's the merch guy.
Happy to have you guys here.
We're happy to
Thank
be
you.
here. It's a party. We got our liquid death. I got my black lipstick. That's all up on my liquid death.
I got Barry alive.
All right.
Water.
H2O. Yeah, water.
Water for me too.
I'm also drinking liquid death.
Yeah, we're getting crazy on the water.
Gotta stay hydrated, guys.
Liquid death.
Water
is
wasted.
It's
That's
delicious.
Love it, man.
It's all about like G Fuel and staying hydrated. That's like our go-to. Every investigation is we got our G Fuel. Elliot's trying to get us sponsored by them.
What is We need our own flavor.
Our own flavor.
Yeah. I don't know what-
What would that be?
So I'll start. How did you guys become a team? I'm curious.
Hi. Hello. I like ghosts. So I have been investigating for almost 20 years, and after a while, it gets kind of lonesome. So I had Elliot here, but he didn't start being about the ghosts till about, I want to say, what was it?
5
6 years ago.
No, I
like
was still about the ghost. I was about proving that there weren't ghosts
Yeah.
because I thought she was wrong. So I would tell her that everything was debunkable, and now looking back, I was full of nonsense.
I would say ghost, and Elliot would be like, no. We're
No.
We're
That's
not doing
just
that
the house
right now."
settling.
Yeah, the house, the footsteps running up the stairs. Yeah, that's just our house creaking. But so Elle was with me, but I don't know. I wanted to bring other people along, and because when you go investigating, it's a whole experience, and I wanted to kind of share that with other people. You get to meet so many cool people, like all these cool folks up here. You guys are on the top of my screen, so
It's like the Brady Bunch right now going on.
So, I felt like, hey, I kind of want to make a team. And I was like, all right, sure. And I started reaching out to people. I was like, hey, is anybody interested? And Kat, I've known since high school. And she was always kind of like talking about Velisca Axe House. And I'm like, yeah, she reached out to me and she's like, hey, I'm interested. I'm like, all right. And then we got Kid coming along, and then Joe's he's our newbie. Joe, he's he's gonna be doing a debut in our upcoming documentary, and what I kind of did was, I always see like Jen dancing, and I like to dance, investigations, and I kind of like music is so energized. I kind of wanted to take music, which Joe is our musician. I mean, we're all pretty into music, but Joe was supposed to come on for this doc. He did so well. I'm like, dude, you want to join? So like, here we are with Joe. So he's kind of been with us for what, six months now? Yeah, but we've only been on a couple investigations with it. Every time though, he kills it. So, along with the rest of the team, like Kid loves taking pictures. Cat, like without my girl Cat, like shit's just boring. Like
Kid's got to do his signature pose on here.
I love it, man. I love it.
It's trying to become trendy, but no one's
You don't have to try.
you just
Thank you, Kat.
stand there and you're trendy. Like
Thank you.
Kid's the model of the team.
for real.
Something like that.
There we go.
Something like that.
Something like that.
So yeah,
Jen, is your mic working?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loud and clear.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of what happened, and we formed ACG about 2 years ago. Kat's been with us for about a year and a half.
Nice.
Kid a year, Joe 6 months. So, and here we are.
Everybody has like a cool nickname. You got to get Joe a good cool nickname.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, he has
Boo-Boo.
one. He's Boo Boo.
That's Boo Boo.
Yep, boo-boo. We love boo-boo.
Hey, Boo Boo.
Ooh. I didn't even know the kid's name was Aaron until just now.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah, I had no idea.
You and your
I assumed he had a name.
Nope, I'm a mystery.
He's our mystery man. It's
Oh, I
but
love
yeah,
it.
that's Aaron. Aaron.
I was just about to say that.
There was a commercial that has that same guy in it. It just came on Paramount Plus. It was that same guy. I love that video.
Oh,
Yeah, I saw that. That was a funny one.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we do a podcast, I feel like I'm the ghost. Like seriously, like I'm like, can we lose?
I got
it?
white light around us already, and then you got one.
I'm red, so it's fine.
I'm bald. I'm good. So you guys are
Here, let me see if this helps. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I'm
That's
still
better.
pale. Like
Oh,
I feel
man.
like Kat has this nice. She has this nice tone to her. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, very professional.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I've got a
office
ring
space.
light
Love it.
set up. It's just an illusion.
it's a- Joe, you got a little spooky light going on. In the
Yeah,
back
I
there.
love that light.
I'm
Absolutely
gonna
love
join
that
you.
light.
Oh,
Play with it and change the colors and just chill.
This is a random observation, Joe, but I wish my voice was as deep as yours is.
Bro, okay, I'm not the only one. Like I always
Me neither.
say how awesome his voice
Boo Boo
is.
has
I'm
a
like,
cool
yo,
voice.
Boo Boo, I could listen to your voice. Like, don't take this the wrong way, but yeah, this is good lighting. Okay, yeah, this is way better than I was freaking blinding myself with this light over here. What else you got?
Oh
We have
man.
more red.
My tech is doing tech stuff as we talk.
Here we go. We got all red.
Oh man. This is what I love too, like just a bunch of paranormal family just gathered together, you know. I mean, Joe, you being like the newbie, you know. What do you think so far? Pretty awesome, huh?
It is pretty awesome. It's especially starting with the documentary we worked on that Nat put together. That was an awesome experience because I think that was one of the first things, if not the first thing, I went out with the team on. So it kind of just started off on a bang, and I feel like we had a really good night. And I got invited out again, and I just stayed interested. And the more involved I get, the more like I realize how tight knit of a community it is. And everybody I've met so far has been super nice, super welcoming. So thanks, you guys.
So are all you guys going to be at Bell Mansion together?
Heck yeah!
Whoop,
Nice.
whoop.
We're gonna party with Jen too. I know her birthday.
So we're talking about getting an Airbnb and having a party at the house. So hopefully that
That'd
happens.
be sick.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Actually, I
Oh.
want to say, Kat, your birthday's I think pretty close to Jen's too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's on the 15th. We're
Pisces.
both Pisces.
What month is Pisces again? That's
February and March.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. I had a
Me and Boo Boo, I think, are both Geminis. Aren't you a Gemini? Boo Boo?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All day.
This is dang Sagittarius, and we got a Capricorn right there.
I'm a Capricorn too.
Yeah.
Aries.
Mikey's a
Boring
Capricorn too. Mikey's the day after my birthday.
Oh, everybody
Yeah.
get born in January.
Am I the only end of the March birthday? Like I'm a March 31st guy. Am I the only one that's like an Aries? What the hell?
Yeah.
You know
You're
what?
an
Screw you,
Aries.
I'm done.
So,
Yes.
don't get me started on horoscope shit.
I know, right?
She's the queen of that.
Because he's an
I'm
Aries.
ready.
He's an Aries, but I'm like, your rising is something else. I'm like,
John
you're like
loves
a
it.
Libra. He's like he's a Libra rising.
Mikey knows me.
I mean, they love when I talk about astrology.
Peggy.
Peggy!
Peggy.
Hi, Peggy.
Hey, girl, what's up?
I miss her. Oh, she's awesome.
Oh, I do. Peggy's a sweetheart. Every time.
Yeah.
Peggy's awesome.
She's just so. I love
We
her.
get to
Oh,
see her
man.
in like 2 weeks. She's going to Hinsdale House with us.
Mhm.
So excited for
sweet.
that.
Super sweet. Yes.
Yes.
Dan's a good guy.
Oh, heck
Yeah.
yeah. Mike's like, Peggy. Oh, man.
Hillcon? Was that where we saw him last?
He'll
Who,
go.
Dan?
Yeah,
I know we saw him there. I don't know if that was the last time we saw him.
I think it was.
Shit.
It's been a while.
So what do you guys have lined up for this year?
A lot.
Let's see. So we have the Bell, and we have so this is a new for us, but I don't know if you guys know Mama Bear from like Madison Seminary, Indiana State. We love Mama Bear.
Nancy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nancy. She asked
Yeah,
us to be at a FurCon with her. So this is a first for us, but we're all
Okay.
for it. We're doing a panel with her, and I'm like,
It looks like a lot of fun. She sent us like photos of the parties and stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
yeah. So anything for Mama Bear. We took her to she invited us to an investigation, and she did her solo
She
on the
is-
second floor.
She is crazy. She stayed up
Yep.
with
6
us.
in the morning.
She
I'm
was
like,
so like
she's so cool.
She's
See,
around.
Phil, man up.
she's a tough.
Shut up.
I know. So we got the FurCon. That's I believe in Milwaukee, early April, and then we got Spirits in the Spring, which is something that's being put together by Nick Sarlo and Paraflix, and we're speakers at that as well.
Nick, what's up, man?
Oh,
Hey.
stop the
Hello, Nick.
devil.
Speaking of,
Yeah, we're gonna party with Nick.
Yeah, so we're stoked about that one too. And then we got some stuff coming up that still hasn't been announced in the summertime. So just keep your eyeballs peeled. And for now though, spring, it's busy. We got
the thing you've been working on.
oh yeah,
How could you
love
forget about that?
Elliot, I love you, man.
yeah. See, that thing too. So that's supposed to be coming out early sometime 2023. Still gonna be winter. So when's my cutoff for winter? March 21st. Probably early March. So I was just editing little bits of it tonight and doing our first showing for it. It's pretty much a premiere for everybody that was involved. February 11th, and then after that, we're gonna be submitting it. Oh.
See you later, Nick.
See you,
So
bro.
everybody should be able to watch it come March. So
Now, what location is that on?
that is at Broadhead Manor,
Ooh.
and it is an old school. We love Broadhead, and we love Bill, the owner, and that Broadhead. Every time we've been there has been super active for us. That's actually where Spirits in the Spring is, and so it's gonna be cool being back there, and the documentary should be released by then. And that's just our first one. I have other plans, but it's all gonna be in haunted venues. So, yeah, music and haunted venues. I mean, Broadhead. We started off. That was our first one. You know, where do most people start off with music? Battle the Bands, high school. You know, so that's kind of why we started with that one, and then we're kind of going down the line. I want to cover literally every genre, like hip hop.
So, yeah, what I'm saying with musical and paranormal, I guess, are you going to go to Bobby Mackey's then?
Maybe. I'm trying to get, honestly, I'm trying to get more locations that you don't see as often. So that's kind of another thing, like where, you know, like, I mean, Bobby Mackey's would be sweet. The Grand Old Opera, wow. Grand Old Opera. Obviously, I don't listen to country music. But that would be another sweet one to get into. But I mean, that's something that we'd have to like work our way up. But there's places in Chicago here that I've been talking to people. You know, I've been kind of in the Chicago music scene for a while now, so I know some people. And there's haunted venues here in Chicago. Milwaukee's another place that I would like to get into. Oh, I'm doing so much better, Peggy. Thank you. Yeah, the month of December was rough, and even earlier this month was pretty rough. I'm finally starting to get out, and I had to take a month off of editing because like I couldn't sit up straight. For those who don't know, I did get a surgery, and I'm so glad it's done and over with.
I'm glad you're feeling better. For sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Just you're done. So I'm ready to get back out.
Well, we're happy that you're up to speed again, dear.
No, she just has me like just talking. She doesn't even get a break from this podcast.
You mean there's another Jen?
Jack and I have Nat and Elliot around more often. That way I don't have to hear Jen talking.
Yeah, I remember there was one podcast that we did that was supposed to be an hour podcast.
They didn't cut us off.
I turned it into a 3-hour podcast. So you guys, once it's close to that time, please cut me off. I'm talking.
Just a red light flashing.
And that's the cool thing too about like people involved with things like this. We love to vocalize or all sorts of stuff. We like to talk. We do.
Honestly, like ghost stories. Like I want to say I still have friends from grade school where it was kind of like, did you see a ghost? I'm like, yeah. Did you see a ghost? And they're like, yeah, but we can't tell anyone because people are gonna think we're weird, And I still have friends from like 5th grade that like we became friends over ghosts. So like it's kind of been a thing, and it's a good connection with people, like the other side. It's a mystery.
Yeah, that's
hello, beautiful.
It's funny how you mentioned that too, because just recently I realized that a lot of my friends who I never hear from anymore, once they found out about the whole paranormal thing, like, oh, I like this stuff too. I'm like, how the hell? Really?
Yeah.
Right? I haven't talked to you in like 10
There's a lot
years.
of like closeted fans of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you bring it up, they're like, oh, actually, I have this awesome story. Let me tell you. And everybody has a story.
Exactly.
I've run into people from like grade school, like at the store and stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, I've been following your Instagram and your YouTube," and I'm like, "What? Like, I haven't talked to you in like 20 years."
Oh my god, like, dude, like there are people that like used to like tease me because they're like, "Yeah, the ghost girl." Here they are, like, "Hey, so you think I could come on this?" People change, and I'm all for that. So, like, if it's gonna make them a better person, yeah.
Kid's face. Question: What was your most intense experience? This kid just made like a crazy.
Hold up.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
Where was your first investigation? You can tell them that one.
I'll say okay. I'll shortly give 3. So Monroe House was my first investigation. That was out of the water. That was like, and so,
when your glove teleported.
Yeah, put my glove on a table. Look behind,
shit.
look away, look back. My glove's on the other side of the table. Nobody was near, and I was like, okay, that's all right. Second, I would probably say Greenville. Very emotional there. I don't know why, but I love Greenville. Shout out to Greenville.
Amazing place. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Third, I'd say probably the Bell Mansion. Yeah. There was a snow blizzard. Me and Natalie were on the second floor by the morgue, or the the morgue, I guess you can say. I don't know.
Embalming, with all the the basement has
embalming room.
But
There you go.
yeah, the embalming room.
Thank you. But we were there in a blizzard, and there was like talking, like it sounded like it was out loud. So I'm like looking at that, I'm like, why are there people outside? She looks at me, she's like, kid, it's 4 a.m. It's a blizzard. There's probably nobody outside. So we looked at each other, we're like, okay, that's a little strange. So that was very intense for me because that was probably my first voice or just hearing it out loud. It was just crazy to me, honestly.
Now, kid, did you have any other experiences before joining the team, like when you were a kid or anything?
Yeah, I grew up in around Sauk Village area of Illinois, and Sauk Village is Native American ground. So I'd say there was a house there that I was grew up in, and that was pretty intense. Just hearing stuff at nighttime, voices sometimes. And I look back as a kid, I'm like, oh, that was probably just my imagination. And then I get into the paranormal, and I'm like, more open-minded to it. And I'm thinking like, it might have been something else. So I'm very open to what I experienced in the past versus like just ignoring it and moving on with, being naive about it, I guess you can say.
Heck yeah, man. How about you, Joe?
What about Joe or Kat?
Since joining the team, I think most of my experiences have been more on the tame side, but one thing that does come to mind was we were at the Lockport Historical Society, and it was pretty late, and I was really tired, and we were in one of the rooms, messing with the spirit box, and I was laying there, and I started dozing off, and I started getting talked about through the spirit box, like something was talking about me.
Like, wake up.
So that was kind of interesting. But as far as before joining the team, when I was in high school, got really spooked by something in Runyon Park, which is actually here in Lockport, and it gets talked about a lot. Like, you can look it up. It's all over the internet. Supposedly a lot of occurrences there. But so anyway, in high school, we were in there partying, and we were in like a clearing, and all of a sudden, surrounding us, we hear like sirens, like there's something going on off in the distance, and the sirens set off a bunch of coyotes. And so we kind of figure out like we're surrounded by coyotes, and on top of the coyotes, just this horrific cackling, like this just horrible cackling, just like shrieking. Like we were just like all like terrified, just like looking at each other, just going from like partying high schoolers to like, what the hell is that? And then it stopped, started right back up again, but sounded like it instantly came in like 30 feet and was like right next to us. And we all just got like horrified and like left the woods as soon as we could, like as fast as we could, but we couldn't run because we couldn't see anything, and there's branches and everything. But yeah, I'm getting the chills just talking about it. Like a lot of people say that, like, like, oh, it's probably something else, but that was scary as hell.
Joe, did Elle ever tell you about the Wendigo he saw? I think around the same area too, right?
No, that was on this street. That ran up this street, but it's not far from here. Runyon's like a couple blocks.
Yeah.
Joe's a couple blocks from us, so it's kind of nice.
But yeah, I saw a giant like shredded deer thing that looked like a skeletal deer with like flesh hanging off of it, but it was huge. It was like the size of like a moose or something, and it ran up the street in front of the car I was in. And we just sat in that car and turned the lights off for like a half hour, and we were like, we are not, just hoping that that's gone from us, because it was like Very scary.
Right? Like I'm just like ghosts. All right, when to go?
I don't do cryptids. I'm not messing.
I was just going to ask you that. Yeah.
I'm not.
No.
No, I'm not hunting Bigfoot. Bigfoot can find himself. I don't need to find him.
This is the most metal thing I've ever heard tonight. I love it. How about you, Kat?
I think in retrospect, the scariest was the Monroe house. At the time, it didn't really seem like it because it felt like time wasn't even real. Because we were there all night, and it felt like we were there for like an hour. Like time just flew by, and like the effects that it had on me personally afterwards were scarier, I think, than actually being there. Whatever it was stuck with me. It felt like something was just kind of like sucking the energy out of me for a while, until I got cleansed and felt better. So that was like on a whole other level. And I agree with Kid too. The Greenville is awesome. Something there touched me, like touched my heart. That was the first time that I like felt whatever the spirit was trying to make me feel. So that was a really intense experience for me.
Yeah, Monroe definitely has a vibe to it for sure. Like talking about the time and just the whole place, it just feels off.
It feels like Twilight Zone. Like it's weird.
I was checking for a gas leak.
Yeah, we were all acting like we were high. I'm like, what the hell was this? In our liquid death and G Fuel? It got like we were looking at each other. Kid said something about like he was like maybe back in the day this used to be the Cheats room. And I'm like I don't know, man. I'm like this is feeling weird, but the guest investigator that we were with wound up putting like protection oil on us like while we were all like sitting there like and it's like we snapped out of it. It was really weird. It's kind of weird because I feel like every location that we go to, each one has like a different effect on like it's like one location will speak to someone more than like another location. Like with Kat, like the last time we were at Greenville, I was just like, girl, I feel like this whole investigation was for you, you know, like for me, like mine has kind of been ISS in the Monroe house. Didn't you say Paulding?
Paulding was cool, but that was just more party with the ghosts. The ghosts kept telling me and Kid that they wanted to party and have popcorn.
See, and I wasn't getting much at Paulding. You know, I was feeling a couple things, but
that's because you weren't with the party polka ghost.
Yeah, they want polka music. I'm like, I don't got polka music.
But like in different places, like it's kind of weird that, you know, different people have different experiences. That's why I feel like you can never say like one thing is 100% certain.
Hellfire Club was pretty cool for me. That was really cool.
I mean, you're in the
first time that I saw.
Like, I think that's cool for anybody.
I saw a full like person walking around.
I saw it too. There was like it looked like it was about a little bit higher than like a kid's size.
Like during the day,
dark
which
mass.
was weird because usually we see them at night, but during the day was pretty interesting.
And
there,
we thought someone came into the Hellfire Club, and we're just like,
I ran and got my equipment because I thought I was like, oh, they're gonna like step on something, and then I went upstairs and there was no one up there.
Yeah, so,
Jen, you had something like that happen at Shawnee or whatever.
What?
About seeing a person walking around during the daytime.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we've seen a few things during the day. I still think something happened at Crescent. But yeah, at Shawnee, you guys haven't been to Shawnee, right?
Mm-mm.
It's so awesome there. It's so awesome.
We need to tap into the East Coast a little bit more.
Yes.
There's like there's like two big lakes that were there, like swimming pools or whatever that the guy made. And like the other, like there's a fence at the edge of the property and the other side's like a road. So I woke up to go to the bathroom like early in the morning. There was still like fog, all that. Nobody else was up. And
We're staying in town.
I see a man walking on the other side of the lake. And then like, I just didn't see him anymore.
Ooh.
I was like, what the hell is that? Now I know the guy who, him and his mom own the place now. His brother, I know for a fact, died on the property. I think his dad did too, right?
I
Sean.
think so.
Yeah, they both died on the property. Could have been one of them. I don't know. But yeah, right in the daytime. So
Yeah, people always have this like idea that ghosts only come out at night. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Right.
what? Like, who told you that?
A lot
man?
of places are haunted during the day and not as much
more
at night.
active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny how you mentioned that. I was having a talk with one of my friends a couple days ago. I'm like, things are going to happen anytime it wants to. That's how I view it. You know, it can happen daytime.
Well, you figure,
nighttime, you know,
if it's anything residual, you know, especially like a nursing home or something, all the activity's going to be going on during the day. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
I actually want to go back to what Kat said whenever she mentioned she got cleansed. Do you guys like do anything before an investigation to kind of protect yourself whenever you go into certain places you've never been to? Or
I personally do. This was something that I've discussed since the Monroe House. Is that we are gonna start kind of doing that a little bit more because like
I've always brought. I have a piece of obsidian that a witch gave me that's has a protection spell on it.
grab my freaking fan.
Oh,
hold up. So like I am gonna start kind of doing more so like cleansings before and like after and all that good stuff.
This was Nat's Christmas present.
So our friend Maxime made this for me, and it's got a crystal and it's made from bone. It's a freaking duck wing. And I'm gonna be all up in the doing the whole thing like at locations because we are gonna start. I have been like bringing more like protection oil with, and at first we didn't do it as much because like I said, I've always kind of I'm still learning as a leader myself, and I've always done things solo, so it's like I'll protect myself, but I'm gonna start kind of doing that more so because it's you gotta be careful. I don't think there's a lot of demons out there, hanging out in old abandoned buildings. I actually, was just talking about this with someone the other day. Is like I feel like I run into demons more so with people than I do like in abandoned buildings. Like I don't know why they would hang out like there.
See you, Mikey.
See you, Mikey. Hi, Karma.
Bye,
Happy
Mikey.
birthday.
Later, man.
Happy birthday.
Yes.
Oh yes. Happy birthday. But but we do have to be careful because like places like the Monroe House, I was not expecting that. And we went, and I think we all got pretty affected by it. Like Elliot, like he doesn't even want to go back, and I'm just
I'm not going back while important things are going on. I'm in school right now.
Well,
I'm not.
We're doing a full weekend in October this year.
This will be a first time for me going because they all went last year. I couldn't go. So this year's
I was trying to book it for the night at Bell Mansion, but it was booked already.
Bring something to protect yourself, and probably bring something iron or something. Something that you believe in to protect you, because that place is crazy.
And if you're feeling weird, step out.
Step outside. Don't let your guard down though. That place is not. So I used to say like, oh yeah, anybody can paranormal investigate, but like after some of the things that I've seen, like there in Indiana State at night.
Much.
But Monroe House is one of the crazy places. Like
I had to step
It's more
outside.
of an advanced place, I would think.
I had to step outside when we went there, like within the first probably 20 minutes, because I got really like nauseous. And I had
That's how we were.
I should have stepped outside. I didn't, but for some reason I didn't.
I
It was
did
cold
too.
when we went.
I did.
Yeah, it was cold.
I stepped outside to talk to the pizza man. I'm pretty sure I freaked him the hell out.
You didn't talk to you scared the pizza man.
Okay, so I walked out. Dude just thinks it's a house, and I'm like, have you been in there? And he's just like, no, I have not been in your house before. And I'm like, it's haunted. He's just like,
so he's like, oh, okay, great. Weird goth people hanging out in their house telling me.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Follow me, pizza man.
Right. Now, has there ever been like have you guys ever been in like a situation since being a team that you actually felt unsafe going into like a location with how it's been, or?
There's only one that I've almost left, and that was McIntyre Villa is very active.
Oh.
Never
And
heard of
like so if I'm at a location and there's poltergeist activity unlocking doors, I feel like I should leave. And it sounded so the eye hook on the door was jiggling, and I told her, I'm like, listen, if that's unhooked, I'm gone. Like, all the tech is I'm getting in the car and I'm leaving.
And here I am. I'm just like, put me downstairs in a body box. Like,
For me, it was that time at ISS that we thought that there were squatters. That was a different.
That was intense. I want to say the same. Like, that was the first time where
we lost Boo Boo.
We lost the Boo Boo.
Oh no!
Boo Boo, come back!
There you go.
That was the first time that I think we're like, yeah, we gotta call the cops, and I'm like, well, let's wait. Like, let's make sure that these are, people instead of ghosts, because ghosts are a possibility.
There it is.
Oh, there's.
He didn't like his placement on the
Yeah,
chart.
my phone crashed.
Something we said, Joe?
My phone crashed. So weird.
That was
You got scared.
Don't get scared, Boo Boo.
It's okay.
I was in the parking lot of House of Wills in Cleveland. Non-paranormal was the scariest shit ever.
I was gonna say I want to go there,
you, Jen.
but does Ohio have open carry now? I think they do. Now I can go there.
We're still bringing all of our guns.
I ain't gonna be packing if I go to House of Wills.
Oh, you 100%. If you have a gun. I don't know if I'm allowed to say gun on the internet. I don't know.
And the funny thing is too, myself,
it.
Jen, and our other team member April, we're gonna leave early, and April, she always lugs a lot of stuff with her, a lot of shit with her. So we're trying to take everything. I think Mikey was actually the one that was trying to take all the heavy stuff, and we're kind of taking our time basically to load everything up in.
I was
April's,
not taking my time. I was in the car.
Yeah, and I see this car drive by, stop, turn around, and just sit there. I'm like, yep, time to go.
They pulled in the parking lot. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, I'm from the south side of Chicago. I don't mess around with that kind of stuff. I'm like, car slowing down, I'm going to go slower.
I'm staying back 3 cars.
Yeah, you getting where to the same stoplight, I'm going to be about 2-3 cars back, and then I'm going to roll that stoplight.
The place is, and that's Cleveland for you, too. I've been there many times, and the place is not no disrespect towards people who live in Cleveland, just saying.
Well, Cleveland's our rival for Pittsburgh anyway, so fuck Cleveland.
But that part of Cleveland's I think it's one of the worst, the second worst area in Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
What's so weird with Cleveland? Because, you can go down the street and you'll be in the projects, and another street, you're $1 million house. It just goes back and forth.
Chicago has, one block you'll have mansions, the next block you'll have crack rocks.
Honestly, we went to it was what was it? One of those plant places with
the Arboretum. That was the wrong Arboretum. I'm sorry.
I gotta hear this.
So
there was someone smoking crack.
Wait, you just skipped to the best part.
Part of it. You can continue.
Okay, so you were horrible at telling stories.
I tell stories fast.
I was crack. But no, so we were at I believe it was West Garfield Park. We weren't supposed to be there.
Don't go there.
And there was 2 of these arboretums or whatever. One was in a nice, rich, pretty area. The other one was in West Garfield Park, which is considered one of the worst places in Chicago. It's pretty close to Inglewood.
The Arboretum is supposed to be nice there, just to be clear.
So we're trying to find this little one. And it's on the same Garfield, and we're driving, and I'm like, yo, it's been 15 minutes. I think we're lost. And then he's like, no, we're almost there. And I look to the, the side, and there's just a guy drinking Hennessy with, smoking crack rock. And I'm just like, yeah, we're not in a good area. I'm like, get on the highway now. So like, and then I found out where we were. I'm like, "Elle, we were in West Garfield Park. Like, why are you bringing me to these places?"
That's why I keep one of the mirrors on my car broken, so people don't try to take my car.
That's actually a good idea there.
It doesn't look like one you want to take.
The more janky your car looks, the less likely you're gonna get.
No one's gonna steal the broken car.
That's a Chicago hack for you.
Or the stickers, the paranormal stickers on the back.
Yes.
There we go. There we go.
Ghosts,
Stickers,
ghosts,
yeah.
don't mess with us. We like, yeah, there was
Voodoo.
another thing. We were in Ohio, and these.
Oh, that was great at the M Star. The M Star kid know about the M Star
Yeah,
Hotel.
that was fun.
Just to let you know, anyone who is watching, we travel very, very on budget. Like
That's a given. Why my car looks like it's broken? No one's gonna break into it.
No, we were we were in Ohio. We were by OSR, and these guys were just like, they were like, you know, what are you doing? What you doing?
They
and
thought
then,
we were a band.
They were like, you guys in a band? And then we're like, no, we're paranormal investigators. Like, and they're like, oh, hell no. And they were like, nope, you don't come near us. I'm like, all right.
It sounds like our time when we went to Wendy's or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Me, Phil, and Jen, we had a photo shoot or something, I think, earlier in the day. We were kind of dressed up. So we went to Wendy's after. And when we were in Wendy's, the lady asked if we were in a rock band. She actually gave us free food, too.
That was fantastic. It was cool.
Well, that's like, you know, at this point, I just tell people, like, there's some people that they'll see a picture of us and they're paranormal investigators too. They're like, is this a paranormal team or a metal band? And I'm like, why not both?
Yeah.
And here we are bringing guitars on our investigation. Like, I mean, honestly, like, that's when we get the most activity is when we freaking bring this music in. Like, that's our, like, I was actually thinking about bringing one of my synthesizers, like, the next time and, like, just doing a little, you know, and see if that kicks up anything. Because if, like, we're playing music through our, you know, phones, Spotify, like, I feel like playing music, like, physically brings out so much emotion. And, you
the
know,
spirits
like,
in our house like the stylophone.
yeah, so yeah, they've played with that a couple times where they set it off. So like, why not bring instruments with? And that's kind of what we're doing with the docs that we're doing. So.
Oh yeah, like I think to me, you know, music is so soothing. Like I'm a huge metal fan ever since I was like a teenager, and I can fall asleep to it. Believe it or not, it's just so relaxing, which is ironic because it's meant to be angry, heavy music. And to me, the heavier, the faster, the darker, I'm like in my happy.
Oh yeah.
So I can totally.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, it's exactly. It's just. I don't even think we've ever played like metal music at like one of our locations. We do like Johnny Cash or something like dancey kind of thing.
You know what? I do feel like we kind of go with.
They're like pop hits.
We look at the history of the place. So, like somewhere like ISS, they love Madonna, but especially in the nursing that nursing home, the main part of it, like the teeth. There's a whole nursing home, and that's where the male tuberculosis ward used to be. But when Leanne and Bryant came in, they tore that down. They placed a nursing home in there. And, I mean, that wasn't open until 1976. And it said they knew Madonna. You know, that place, you know, was probably the prime time was 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So
like a virgin.
Yeah. Every single time. And then like afterwards, like there's been times where we're literally playing Madonna and the, you know, motion sensors are going off and it turns into like a disco in there and like it's all right, like, and that's how I like to paranormal investigate. I was leading a public event at ISS, I think it was October, during their Bridge Festival. And I had a group of people, and, you know, it was kind of like we did the sit in silence thing. And I'm like, guys, by now I kind of know the spirits here. I'm like, do you want to try, like, playing music? We all started doing the cha-cha slide up in there. Like, it was, like, 2 a.m. We're like, slide to the left. And then all of a sudden, like, every device was going off. Every single device, and it was just like everybody was, you know, by then everybody was like, yeah, you know, it was such a good time. So I feel like when you investigate, you have to kind of bring a little fun into it. You know, I feel like there's moments for seriousness, and especially like somewhere like, you know, where people were tortured, but at the same time, like, these spirits were people too. Their death was not the only thing that was about them. You know, like, I'd rather celebrate, like, were they an artist? Did you have horses? You know, like, what was something that was a little bit more to you that was just other than dying of TB? You know, like, that was such a, like, it was a traumatic part of their life, but it was a small portion of like who these people were. So that's kind of like what we like to do, is just bring a little fun in, let them know that we're not, you know, here to scare them. Because, like, 100 years ago, looking at us, like, look at us. Like, we look like weirdos. You know? Like, I don't know.
Look at Kid.
Look at Kid.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the cool thing, too. It's like we all have personalities, you know? You got to have fun.
Yeah. You gotta bring your personality with on investigations. As long as you're respectful. And, you know, for us, like, we really don't like bringing in swear words or anything like that. I mean, once in a while they slip, but because you don't know if, like, you're coming in contact with a little kid or not, you know. Like, and honestly, like, I wouldn't want to be swearing in front of no little child. Like,
whoops.
Not my kid. So yeah, just be yourselves and just be respectful. That's kind of like our main rule. You know, we definitely like to bring our personality into like every investigation, and
For sure.
just be respectful.
We definitely
you know?
got to have a big paranormal dance party.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, every time I see Jen, I'm just like, we gotta.
I'm the whitest dancer you will ever meet in your entire
You are,
life.
yeah.
I am. It's so bad. I dance like a white guy who is like using a walker to freaking like.
Doing the shuffle.
resort to the twin.
Elliot dances like he's like 85.
I'm not a
years
good
old, so-
dancer either, so
Yeah, neither am
we'll,
I.
we'll match
Hey.
each other.
That, Elliot, we're
All
doing
good.
it. We're doing
Yep.
it.
I'm all
Oh
right.
yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
I'm all right with it.
You're not gonna dance.
Just like I'll just model in the background.
I'll send it. Watch everybody.
He'll be in the back looking good, you know. And
Yeah, Kid and Cat are all like,
Yeah, I'll learn it
What's
from
up?
kids.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. And that's the thing too. It's like, you know, you walk in, like, yeah, you're walking into like basically a person's home that just doesn't happen to be there physically anymore too. And it's like you said, you know, be respectful. You know, I'm here as your guest, you know, and like, you know, going back to some of the investigations, like the Bel Air house, you know, I was very nervous about that place. Ask Mikey, Sean, and Jen. I was a little bit like, you know, but we had a blast there that night too, and that place was actually kind of comforting, believe it or not. I don't know why. It was, yeah, and that's notorious.
Well, it seems like anytime we ever done like music or dancing or something always ends up happening after.
Yeah. Exactly. Didn't you say, Sean, like the lights like flickered or something like that? I think that's what happened.
At Bel Air, when April was doing whatever the hell she was doing, she was acting crazy that night. But yeah, the lights started flickering in that, and then she got on. What was it, Spirit Box or something, or an app? I don't know. She went like put the thing to her mouth, and over the Spirit Box you heard a phone ringing, and she was like, "Hello," and like it was coming through the Spirit Box, which was kind of weird.
Oh yeah.
oh, that's spooky.
Yes, it was. Yeah, no, there was it was a interesting weekend, a very good, interesting week. And I'm sure you guys saw the photos that I posted of never fall asleep at a haunted house the first, you know, because people will start taking weird photos of you whenever you're passed out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But we, you know, for the most part, we all kind of stay up for as late as we possibly can.
Whoever
I mean-
has to drive goes to bed, but other than that,
Usually I'm the last one standing. I'm like, guys, like let's continue. It's like 7 a.m, and then they're like,
I'm just
"No,
like,
we need sleep," and I'm like, okay, and I sleep for an hour, and then I'm back up like having coffee, like, and I'm like, oh, guys, like the ghosts are active right now. And they're just like too early. But I mean, I can't. And then again, I don't usually drive, so but like
really?
Elliot volunteers. I'm like, yo, I can drive, and he's like, no, God, no.
Oh man, what's the
I do a
furthest
lot
you guys
of
have
solo
traveled?
driving, so I gotta stay alert. So usually around like 3 o'clock, I'm like, all right, I gotta call it.
What's the furthest you guys have actually like drove to an investigation?
As a team, well, let me think. So, kid, I don't think no.
7 hours was 7 hours was Madison. That was my longest, but other than that, not anything too crazy.
Greenville was your
Yeah,
furthest.
I think.
Yeah, 7 hours.
The longest
Right.
drive was Greenville for me.
No. Oh well, I guess Kat, you were with us to Oklahoma though.
Yeah, for me that was like half a flight and half.
Oh yeah, you flew.
Yeah.
So I guess that was
Our furthest
the
in
longest.
general is Ireland for us.
Wow.
Well,
England's
England's
yeah.
further than
England's
Ireland.
further than Ireland. England.
But yeah, so we did do Ellie and I did England. We
backpacked around.
and we went from England to Wales to Ireland, and we stayed in all like haunted castles, haunted manors. We did the haunted tour in Bath, England. They're just like, yeah, this is where they used to throw like thousands of bodies into this pit, and I'm just like, oh,
Nice, cool.
we don't have that as much like over, just walking down, going to the grocery store and thousands of bodies.
So we went to London,
to
Bath,
London,
Oxford. Or,
No.
She's in charge of remembering.
Oxford, Bath, up to we went to Conway, Wales, and then we went over to the ferry, went to Dublin, Tipperary, because that's actually where my grandpa's family, like his bloodline all comes from
Cashel.
Tipperary. So we went to the Rock of Cashel, and then
Cashel is
over to
Cashel
Galway.
is super haunted.
Yeah. So I had a little experience there with my weird dreams that I had. So we got there. We stayed in this super old B&B. It was like 1500s dated. And I had a dream. That just a bunch of severed heads. Your typical dream. And I
What's
started
up, Sean?
waking up. Oh, hey, Sean.
What's up, Sean?
I woke up and I'm hearing things like the bathroom door slams, and
This was still the verge of me not believing in things or not wanting to believe in things.
And Elliot's like, no, go back to sleep. I'm like, oh, there's a ghost here, and turn on the little light. He's like, oh, we're awake, and all of a sudden it looked like something sat on our mattress. And I'm like, Elle, you see that, right? There's someone sitting on our bed. He's just like, oh, no, it's old mattress. It's an old mattress.
Said the springs were bad.
And then all of a sudden, the freaking sheets got pulled. They were up about here, and they got pulled down to our knees. And I was just like, oh.
I pulled them back up, and I said, no, I gotta walk around tomorrow, and I went to sleep.
So
I was like,
and I'm just like, all right, whatever. The next day, we wound up going to a local museum that was there in the same street that our B&B was on. Was the same street that the British came through, and every single person in the village, including children. So the severed head made a lot of sense after I learned about that. But it's weird having experiences like that, and then the next day you find out so much. And that for me, it's one thing if I feel things, but having the history to back it up is so much cooler.
Talking about the history, Mikey asked the question earlier, and I know he's not on here now, but Kat, would you want to answer this question for Mikey? He'll watch the replay.
Resources. I do a lot of Googling, honestly, and I have a lot of books. Every time I go, if you go to Walgreens or CVS or something, and they have those books Haunted Chicago, I always pick those up. So I have a shelf full of those.
That's so cool, though.
Yeah,
it's just fun history, man. It really is. It's and I got actually a question for you guys too. Have there ever been a situation you're going into a place and you're leaving, you're like, did that really happen, or am I just losing it, kind of thing? Because obviously debunking is really big into the whole paranormal and all that stuff. But, yeah, be pretty skeptical.
You're kind of cutting out.
Yeah, Phil, talk into the mic, Phil.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. That was I was actually saying, you ever go to like a certain place where you're like, did I actually experience something like that, or was this all completely this coincidental, or this very? Because obviously we all like to debunk stuff because not everything is,
Yeah.
Well, I've been living with Spooky Lady for 10 years now, and 5 of those 10 years I tried to write all of it off. We used to have a painting that would just fly off the wall, and it's a painting by a murderer.
I told him, I'm like, dude, we're not hanging that up in the house. And he would hang it up, and it was like...
It kept flying off the wall. And I'm like, oh, no. It's just like the house is vibrating. And then once it flew off the wall, I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll take it down. Like,
just an earthquake, common Illinois earthquake.
All earthquakes in Illinois. Like,
we had one once.
We did.
Yeah.
And that was actually, we did have an earthquake. I was like 18 and I felt the bed shake and I was like, oh God, here we go again with the haunted house. Like,
Larry, what's up, Larry?
Larry, what's up?
Larry, I don't know you, but you're cool.
Hi, Larry.
What's up, Larry?
Hey, Joe.
Joe's back.
Yeah. Joe, we keep losing you, brother.
baby, come back.
Come back.
You're frozen.
That's funny though. It's like, obviously with like, being exposed to this type of stuff now, it's like even in your new, your own home that nothing ever happened. Then all of a sudden you're like, I heard something. Shit.
Mm-hmm. It was like our house is active.
I mean, we live in the house that I grew up in, and there's quite a few spirits here.
I make dinner with them.
Yeah, they definitely can smell food.
Yeah,
they talk about food. They like food.
There was one time, like I was curious because I was like, can you guys see us? Like, because for some reason I feel like they can hear us more than they can see us, and I kind of feel like the same way. Like I hear them a lot more than I see them these days, especially. But there was one time I was in the room and I just had my spirit box. It was actually my ink box, and I had it rolling, and I was just like, decided to change while my spirit box was rolling.
Don't do that.
They can see us. I got a straight up guy, which it's the same guy that's in, like, we have a couple of them, but there's one that's pretty, like, he's got this voice, and he was just like, here I am changing my shirt, and he's just like, boobs, and I was just like, really? Ran out of the room, and I just was like, they can see us, Elliot, they can see us. Like,
Got a peeping Tom ghost.
Yeah, right.
You took the communication device to talk to him in the room with you. That's like inviting him in there.
Yeah,
Don't.
I was like, no. I'm like running out of the room.
We've had them say, though, that they can't see us at different places.
Well, I think it is a lot like humans. Like, there's humans that can see better than other humans. Like, my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I'm usually with Kat, because, like, I cannot see. I'm like, Kat, where are we going? And then I'm like, Kat, you got a flashlight? Because, like, I need, like, 3 flashlights. The rest of the team needs maybe 1, if that. Like, and I'm like trying to walk, and I'm like, I can't see anything, but like here I am, I'm like, I can hear things really well, and I'm like, did you hear that girl? And they're like, no, and I'm like, well, shit, I can't see anything, but I can hear things like a wolf.
Is there a little girl standing in the corner?
We got the lucids now, so
yeah, it's funny because I have like night vision, and Nat has like supersonic hearing.
Yeah,
and then you combine the two.
And I'm like, no, what do you mean?
Like, if a shadow figure was in front of me, I would just be like,
That's why I'm the tech. I can see in the dark.
Oh man, I was just about to ask that, Sean.
Oh, Sean.
Spill the beans.
Let me think.
Oh, you being locked, you in the body box, thinking that I hit you with the RC car was pretty funny.
That wasn't really embarrassing.
No,
I would say for me and Kat is probably Broken Bones.
Oh no!
Kid left us that time.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
We did not have a bathroom for 3 days. And we were just like, how are we gonna do this, Cat?
We did have a bathroom. We made a bathroom.
Yeah, being women, like we had Elliot here that's just like, yeah, no problem. And then we're just like,
being a guy is wonderful.
Amen, dude. Amen.
we haven't really had any like super embarrassing, but that was a little like, what do we do
Kids'
now?
glove teleporting at Monroe House was funny.
It was funny. I wouldn't say it's embarrassing though. I don't think we had any embarrassing.
I think it was mostly Broken Bow, just with the bathroom situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the eating in the driveway, like we were living out of the van. That was the neighbors were staring at us like camping and cooking in the driveway. I had a little camp stove. We looked like weird homeless people.
Sorry about that.
Decided to live in their van.
It brought us closer together, though.
Were you down by a river and living in a van down by the
Might
river?
as well be. I'm reading the chat. Curious, is anyone gifted? I'd
say
we don't base our investigation off of any of it. Like I've had the gift my whole life.
She's freaky and she tells me things I don't want to know, but like we don't like base. There has to be facts behind what weird stuff.
So what I like to do is I
there
kind of
usually
like
is,
take
but-
notes and I'll just be like, this kind of like I'm feeling like a little kid here. I'll spit out some names.
Or you'll be like, hey, put the box over here.
Normally,
You know.
that's usually what it is. Like, I'll feel something and I'll be like, set up here. And then I'm like, because I kind of want to confirm, like, with myself, like, what I'm feeling. Like, I like validation. But there has been things that, like, I could not explain. I've helped, like, friends, like, that, you know, people that have passed away that I've never even met, you know, like, that I've helped them. I had dream about like their cousin who passed away who I never met, like stuff like that.
A lot of weirdness.
I usually can see them here and there. It's not on demand. I'm not like, present yourself, spirits, and all of a sudden there's like a dead guy in front of me. It doesn't work like that. Like, but I usually am the one that sees like mists. I see more than shadow figures because the eyesight thing. I think that's the reason why I like the red light and the green lights, because I see a little bit better with those. But I have seen full body apparitions. I used to see them a lot more when I was younger. I used to talk to one in my backyard. And then just hearing. I can hear very, very well. I hear spirits all the time, you know, like at daytime, nighttime. Most of our footage is, you know, EVPs are my main thing that I love. You know, like we're not big fans of like we don't personally use the apps. We don't personally use a lot of things. For me, a lot of our footage is disembodied voices, EVPs, and that's why I have everybody on my team hold a camera, because then I have everybody's face and I can see if their mouth moves and I can see like a whole bunch of stuff. So like I use, usually my cameras are main camera and then everybody else is debunking cams. So EVPs, disembodied voices, kind of is it's a nice validation that I'm not crazy. So like but yeah, I hear spirits every day, all day.
Yeah.
Hey. But Kat's a sensitive. She picks up on things.
Also, I feel like the more you do this, like I can kind of sense guys, but like
Elliot gets the angry men.
The more you do this, like I feel like when you use devices, if you're paying attention to how you feel before the device goes off, you kind of get used to, oh, that's the feeling of, hey, a ghost is around here.
I feel like you can also, like with anything, you can train yourself to be better at it. You know, it takes practice, but like you'll get it, and then once you get it, you're like, yeah. And that's with everybody on the team. Like I think Kid has something going on too.
I have anxiety. I feel like they can pick up on that. So like
I thought Kid just picked up the old women.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they can pick up on like stuff like that and be like, yeah, like this person has anxiety. His senses are more higher than most. So maybe if I kind of direct myself towards him, it's more like he would probably notice me type of thing.
Oh yeah, and I can agree with that too, man. Because I get anxiety a lot too when it comes to stuff too. So
yeah, exactly.
Boo Boo, I just feel like hasn't been with us that long, but he's gonna become one too.
I think he's our most powerful.
He's like, you ever see like what's that? What is that movie? The Coco. Coco. Yeah, and
never saw that one.
Boo Boo is there with his like guitar, and he's just like,
Yeah,
and like all of a sudden all these spirits come and
Oh man, I can ask you guys a question. Obviously, all of us love this type of thing. Do you guys like the entertainment kind of haunted houses, the ones that jump out, go boo, scare the crap out of you?
No,
next room? No, really?
I do.
I like electronic haunted houses. People feel like I'm gonna hurt them because
that
like
fight
when
or
someone,
flight.
I have PTSD, so like my fight or flight kicks in.
Elliot's about to throw punches.
Yeah, it doesn't work well for me.
No, honestly, like
the Rob Zombie one was really cool because it was more of. So I like more of the art piece haunted houses versus the jump scare haunted houses because the Rob Zombie one that we went to had like
you got to wear like 3D glasses.
Yeah, like 3D
all of a sudden
glasses.
you're like in very like
Yeah, or there was one that was a set from the movie. It was cool.
Yeah.
I like Disney is all I'll do.
What's that kid?
The PG.
Oh really? Oh man, it's actually funny because Sean and I became close friends through Scarehouse, so that's how we. Yeah.
I think they're cool. I love masks. Masks are really cool.
Prosthetics.
I love like the art of haunted houses. Like I have a whole collection of different masks in my garage and stuff from people that I know that make masks. But then like just the jump scare. That's my main thing. I love walking through haunted houses with the lights on.
What I love is
like Frankenstein's castle.
Like animatronics, like robot, like
the old haunted houses.
Those but like the new ones too. Like I see like stuff that a werewolf all of a sudden is chasing you, or like they got the girl crawling up the wall, and that's all like robotic.
Like the big guy at Broadhead.
Right.
I would think you guys would have some good ones in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
We do. Yeah. We just like Halloween time. Honestly, we are usually investigating. So we just
we're usually
a lot of like actual haunted houses. We do like ghost haunted houses.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm very picky. Like people see me and they're like, "Oh, you must like horror," and I'm like, I'm honestly really picky with my horror. Like I like suspense. I like things like The Sixth Sense, The Others, which I think is all ghost stuff.
Who is our horror person?
Yeah,
with his Toxic Avenger shirt on.
Nice, love it, man.
I have a Crystal Lake shirt on right now.
Heck yeah.
I'm like pointing, like I don't know where. Kid horror. Kid likes a lot of like the old Halloween. Cat likes Stephen King.
Awesome.
Love it.
But yeah, I'm definitely more ghost stories. I feel like ghost stories like that kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies more than anything.
Oh, I like scary.
Michael Myers. I
I
have a tattoo of all the different like 80s slashers on my arm.
Ooh, yeah.
I like anything that's like demons, exorcists, priests.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
Favorite piece of equipment. That's a hard one for me because I like to. It depends on the spirit that we're communicating with. Because I feel like all of them like different things. But if I had to choose one, it would probably be like my spirit boxes that I make. Because I know any equipment that I've built is probably my favorite because I know what's inside of it and I can tell when it's doing something that it's not supposed to do. That's my favorite thing is. Anything that does something it's not supposed to do.
Some of the stuff that like I don't know. Some of the.
He's a favorite.
Okay, yeah. So you wouldn't consider an app?
No.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm not about that.
I can't take that apart. So.
Yeah.
You always do with that SP7. You're really good with that.
I would say the SP7, but still like digital recorders. Like I have EVPs from 15, 16 years ago, and that's kind of been my thing is I think what gets me like, yeah, is literally like leaving a digital recorder, knowing that you're the only person in a location, like letting it roll. I used to let them roll for like 3 hours, but now I'm kind of working more so for these like, burst EVP sessions. And like sitting there for 3 hours just like this, listening to and then all of a sudden you get like something like it was at like Randolph. Like I know for a fact no one was on the 3rd floor. We were all in the basement, and I caught this really clear. Just sounded like someone went into the digital recorder, and it was just like, like deep breath, like into the recorder, and like I sat for 3 hours listening to that dang recorder. I'm so happy I did, because that was like one of the coolest things. This is like, there's just a freaking breath. Like what?
Well, I would have to say, before I answer that, the Lucid headphones are probably one of the coolest.
Yeah, enhanced.
Just because what they do is really cool. I like the science behind them. They're really interesting. My favorite piece that I've made is probably Cynthia. She is a mannequin with sound reactive lights, and
he's liking it.
That's the one you had on our last show, right?
Cynthia's cool.
She's very sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
We have the Indiana State documentary on Tubi. I think Cynthia makes an appearance.
She's in. Yeah, she's in part of that.
You brought a mannequin on last time you guys were on. Was that the same one?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
so.
Nice.
That's Cynthia.
What about you, kid? What's your favorite piece of tech?
I'll have to agree with Elliot. A lot of stuff that he builds, I'd say I have to go with. But outside of that, I'm going to have to say probably the REM pods, especially at the Bell Mansion. Those are pretty wild.
They're pretty correct
It was
there.
answering us. We'd be like, go to that one. It would be like, beep. And it would be like, all right, go to that one.
Thank you, Lauren.
It was pretty cool. Me and Elliot was there. Me and Elliot were in the embalming room, and it was just everything.
Yeah.
What?
Crazy.
I have that REM pod car that they wouldn't stop touching. I had to take it out of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
No touchy.
Cap, what's your favorite?
I would have to agree with spirit boxes, especially the ones that Elliot makes. That one of the pumpkin that you made me, I carried that everywhere. Like
Nat made that one.
I made that one.
You did.
That.
I did.
Oh yeah,
Elliot
that's when you were. Yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. I've been like REM pods, but Elliot he helped me with it, but I made it, and I think something like a pumpkin is so like especially
Because that's their original purpose.
yeah. I mean, like going back to my Irish heritage, Halloween was a huge thing in Ireland, still is today. I mean, I didn't want to get you a radish, spirit box. But,
Got to make a bump one.
Yes.
big,
like
big
it.
bumpy head.
Love Bumpy's.
But yeah, I bring that with me everywhere. I brought it on vacation. I went to
That's
Savannah, Georgia.
Oh,
Brought it through. I was so worried that TSA was going to do something with it. I had to explain it like spirit box. Here's what
that
it
is
does.
so funny.
I'm amazed at the things that I sent them photos of a bunch of equipment when we were going to Ireland. I'm like, hey, this is very suspicious looking. Are you okay with me taking? They're like, oh, we don't care. That's fine. I'm like, okay, it's got like flashing lights.
You're
on
coming
it.
to Ireland. You're not leaving Ireland
Yes,
to get
it's
back
when
to
you
the
leave it.
States. Like, what about you, Boo Boo?
Yeah, so far spirit boxes and lucid headphones. I'm being an audio guy, lucid headphones are really cool. Really cool.
Nice.
It's just crazy how much more you can hear. And just how they were just sitting there in plain sight all this time.
Yeah.
Those headphones.
So now, for anybody that doesn't know what the lucid technique is, you want to tell them?
Okay, so I came up with the lucid technique. One day I was just, our house is haunted. And I was just roaming around. I had the headphones. Elliot gave them to me.
I bought them for while I was working with like power tools, but they're not good for Bluetooth audio.
They're
horrible
with
headphones.
audio. So if you're just going to listen to your iPod or whatever,
Don't use them for that. They're not good.
They are horrible with actual
That's why
audio.
they're discontinued.
Yeah.
But like enhancing audio. So what I've noticed, and I'm an audio girl too. I just kind of more so got further like deeper into audio. But what I noticed was when I was walking around, you know, I heard Elliot whisper louder than I could hear him talk. And I'm like, And then I started wearing them just like by myself in the house. And I started hearing things that like, where's that coming from? And then I decided to run my spirit box with them on. And that's kind of like the main way how we use them is I'll run the spirit box. And those little words that you hear that are kind of like, those all of a sudden become full sentences with the lucids on. And I think that has to do with the way that the lucids hear. They hear at different frequencies.
They have vocal frequency enhancing.
Something like a whisper is usually at, like talking, usually is at 60 hertz. A whisper is more so at 20. And I believe whispering is kind of more so on the same audio sound waves as like disembodied voices. So when you wear these headphones, you're going to hear disembodied voices. Like we were at Eloise. This is really creepy. I was in a room and, you know, there was Elliot and I believe 2 other people. And they were, you know, talking back and forth and they were talking at regular volume. And with the lucids on, you'll kind of hear people more muffled when they talk. Very like, you know, but when you whisper, it sounds like someone is like in your ear. And I had a disembodied voice right in my right ear, you know, and they were on my left. And I just heard a straight up like, hey, but it was very much like, hey, in my ear. And like, that was kind of when I was just like, wow, these things really enhance disembodied voices. I'm looking around, I'm like, did anyone say hey? And I think it happened again at ISS. And that's on our TikTok. We have a really good solid piece of evidence where Kat was coming and, you know, we were all just kind of hanging out and Elliot was down in the cafeteria grabbing batteries. I asked Kat, I'm like, Kat, where's Elle? And right.
Hello?
Oh, I don't think we can hear you. Uh-oh. Technical foul. Defense.
Well, right after. Oh, okay. So right after she said, "Where's Elliot?"
Uh-oh.
There was a hey, like right behind me that I didn't hear in real time. But Nat caught it. She's like, "Did you hear that?" And like right in the moment, we were like, "Let's play that back right now and see if we can hear it." And it was like clear as day.
It was so clear.
Can you hear us now?
Oh yeah,
we hear you.
So like, and I knew it was behind Kat because like it from my audio, it's just like you can kind of hear it, but it was literally like right, like as if someone came right behind Kat and was just like, hey, and I heard it, you know, more enhanced with these headphones on and with everything, you know, like what I normally have like my team do is go through, like we did the rooftop challenge where I had them go through ISS all by themselves from the rooftop all the way down to admins. And I'm like, stop at certain places and I want you just to listen. And I think Kat, you said you heard your name being called. Yep. I heard like I was talking, I was like, do you guys remember when I was singing? Because sometimes I sing for the spirits too. And I got a clear like I do. Like, so, and I guarantee with those headphones that helps, you know, it does help with a lot of disembodied voices or voices that you would normally hear as an EVP, you know, turns into a disembodied voice. But with the spirit box rolling, what I usually do is I will roll the spirit box, works the best with like portals. And I will literally leave the spirit box in the room and I will go into the hallway. I'll go 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet. You'll hear some crazy conversations. Like our doc that's coming out, there's one with like Boo Boo. It was Booby. I'm
gonna call you that from that one, Booby.
It was Boo Boo, myself, and Kat, and then Elliot was actually the video guy for that one. We hear, like, we were asking as if there was, like, you know, it sounded like there was a woman and a guy talking in the other room. And like, it's nice because when you're recording, you're not getting that like right up in the audio, which can, if you edit, that's awful. So now we're stepping in the hallway. You kind of still hear that white noise, but you're also hearing like we were hearing like straight up like I asked like, do you know who the owner is? Kat and I like looked at each other right away. There was a woman that says yes, and we caught it. You know, like there's like, and then at one point we caught a disembodied voice. I was like, can you say hi to Joe? And you hear this little kid's voice, and it's like, hi, Joe. And like, we're still kind of using that white noise layer to also enhance disembodied voices. So even if it's not coming through the spirit box, you're also going to hear disembodied voices clearer just for having that white noise layer. So there you go. There's the lucid technique. And I have videos on like our TikTok and all that to kind of help break it down, and definitely experience it, like do different experiments with it though, because
it's hard to get a hold of them now though. They went up in price on eBay.
You can still find them, I believe, at Menards online, but it's all pretty much, when it comes down to it, it's listening to the spirit box at different frequencies, and it's listening to your surroundings at different frequencies.
Kid's phone is being dumb.
Phone is like, what happened to kid?
Now, could you say that like using the lucid headphones gives you the best like evidence when it comes to investigating?
Yes, yes, because then you're actually, instead of sitting there where you're, you know, trying to listen for EVPs, you're literally marking those EVPs while listening to having the headphones on. So you'll be like, you know, just listening with the lucids while investigating, just mark everything you hear, you know, like, because that, when you play it back, you're helping yourself with evidence there. You know, you're playing all this back, and
I've also wired pairs of headphones, the Lucid's chipset, into different spirit boxes, and I've wired it into a recorder also.
Oh, wow.
So we can record with the Lucids also.
Yeah, so it's super cool. I don't know, it's hard to explain until you do it, and I think that's kind of the same thing with like,
hello, Sean.
So many Seans.
Sean. Sean's got competition with the other Sean.
That's Sean's.
And I'm sure, like, you know, you have to. And it's also good too, I'm sure, like to have like another piece of, you know, another set of ears with you, because you know we all hear things differently sometimes too. It's like playing that little phone game as a kid. Wait, you said what? I didn't say that, kind of thing.
So that's another thing that I kind of researched a little bit more on, is men tend to hear at like lower frequencies. That's like guys, like when people say, oh, I don't like listening to my wife, it's true. Women's voices are on a higher frequency, and men tend to tone out higher frequencies. So with the lucids, this also helps with that as well.
I'm just gonna blame it on that.
I don't want to hear it anymore. That's why
anyway, talking about that, Jen, why don't you tell them about what happened at Hillview with the lucid?
What?
Hillview with the lucid.
This dog is in the camera half the time. There's a lot going on here. This dog, I have 2 dogs here.
Aww.
The other one just jumped up. Okay, yeah. So I don't fully know if I knew what I was doing, but get out of the camera.
That's all I know.
I know that Sue and Ken were there, and Sean, and I went down a hallway by myself into a room, and I had them on, and I just like laid on the floor. And I guess Ken, because you know they all respond to Ken really well because Ken's there all the time, and Ken was like, go down and mess with Jen or something like that. And like I'm just laying there, and I hear like a laugh in my ear, and I like pop my head up, and I'm like, hello, nobody's there. So I come down and tell them, and they all start laughing because Ken literally told him.
I love laying on the floor.
Like
I lay on the floor at investigations a lot. Like in Greenville,
sleeping.
At Greenville, I was in the 3rd floor. There's like, so you know the big room in Greenville, and then there's like a little hallway, and it goes into a room that's in the front of the building on the top.
Yeah, the blue room.
Yep.
I was laying on the floor up there, and Marcus comes in, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lady just chatting in the closet, because I had the lucids on. I'm like, I'm hearing a little old lady just talking in the closet. So he ran in there with the lucids on, and he's like, there's a lady in here talking. He's like, why are you just laying on the floor? I'm like, I don't know.
just gotta take a quick nap.
They hang out in the closet in there because we had Caitlin, that's part of the Naps group, and somebody else was laying in that closet as well, and they were like, I guess they were,
Mikey was in the closet at one point too.
everybody's
Yeah.
in the closet.
Everybody loves that closet.
That closet has a lot of talking in it.
Yeah. I think that's where I heard most of the disembodied voices at Greenville too. There's a couple on the second floor. Won't be back on.
Oh,
It was nice having
good
you on.
seeing you, kid.
Thanks for coming on, kid. We'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
kid,
man.
thanks for even showing up. I know he was like, I got something going on, so yeah, try to squeeze on for a minute.
But during Jen's lucid thing too, we actually have a picture of something that looks like there's a doctor standing behind her as that was going on.
An old
Oh
timey
yeah,
doctor.
Mhm.
yeah. I think I saw that photo, and like that dude, Hillview is like.
Hillview is one of the few places I've had to yell at a ghost.
I love Hillview so much.
I love Hillview.
Hillview is
too.
crazy.
That place is legit. Like I want to say that's probably, I want to say top 5. I do love Hillview.
Oh yeah. Speaking of like Hillview and stuff, what do you guys think of like some of the paranormal TV shows that are sprinkled throughout
Sprinkled.
TV? Yeah, right. You like that sprinkled?
Sprinkled.
I like it.
I have nothing against them, but I don't really watch ghost stuff that much.
Yeah.
Me either.
Oh, Bill, let's speak of another devil. Yeah, we were just talking about.
Bill.
So that's where the doc is filmed is Broadhead. And
Awesome.
that's where Spirits in the Spring is gonna be. So we love Broadhead. It's nice because it's only I think an hour and a half from us.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Dang.
But TV shows, I mean, some of them it depends. If it's like the entertainment industry, it's different. It's different than what we do sometimes, depending on what they're doing.
You definitely have to separate entertainment from, hardcore investigating. But I don't know. I really, out of all the shows, like if I'm gonna watch a ghost show, I'm gonna be watching it to be like entertained. Like I'm not gonna be
I like Destination
like 100%
Fear.
sure.
I like Nick Groff. There's a few that I like. I was just watching Ghosts in the Hood.
Yeah.
Nice. That show's funny.
Yeah, Jen, we've watched that before.
They have like
the drive-through funeral that they go through and all that. Did you see that episode with the drive-through funeral?
Yeah.
I think we did.
The medium that they have cracks me up. She's like, hey, I feel it. Like,
I think this is Marcus that's talking to us right now.
Is that Marcus?
Sure. Marcus, is that you? I don't have the computer, so I can't see who it actually says. On the computer, it says.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, it doesn't say the name over here. There's another show called John and I watched it. I was dying. It's called Knock Knock Ghost. Have you ever seen it?
Geez, I heard about that.
No.
Oh, it's Christine.
Okay.
Oh, you have the chat? Like, I want to see some chat going on. Like, on our screen, it just keeps popping up like Facebook.
Oh, Mancini. Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
What's up, Mancini?
Mancini, what's
Hi,
up?
Mancini.
Miss you. She's
Oh,
awesome.
here. Oh, can I watch me? Oh, I can watch me. That's fun.
Yeah, usually I'll have like my phone and the computer running so I can like see what's going on in the chat. But
My phone. I keep looking at my phone.
I want to say, with ghost shows, I would say Destination Fear is probably my favorite. But I've also, have hung out with them real life.
They're pretty cool.
They're super chill.
Nice. They're cool
Super chill.
people.
You know who's even cooler? Their mom.
Polly. Polly is awesome. Shout out to Polly.
Yeah, so Polly's super cool. Yeah, I want to say Destination Fear is probably my favorite, just because it's nice kind of seeing people in your same like age group too.
Yes.
Like I love all the old school paranormal people, like Nick Groff.
Nick Groff's
cool dude.
awesome.
But like, I want to say Destination Fear, just because it's just I don't know, it's fun. It's fun seeing the youth.
I like
rise up.
things with a little bit of humor in them.
Yes.
Like for the most part, everything for the most part, I gotta have humor in it.
Ghost Brothers.
Ghost Brothers.
Easily.
That's my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Like
Ghost
I get
Brothers.
distracted by making things.
They're fun guys too.
Yeah.
The Ghost Brothers.
Yeah.
Ghost Brothers are funny.
Yeah.
do you guys watch any of the YouTube shows?
You know, I watched Bump in the Night.
Whoop, whoop.
I have to watch your guys' stuff.
We have fans.
There's a couple that we watch. We've watched Paranormal Quest a couple times. I really like the way they investigate. They're very professional.
Steve
And Dylan from Haunted Nights, good people.
There's a lot of them that we watch.
Yeah. Lawrence that was on here, Mundo Docs.
Yeah.
His stuff I've watched.
I like
stuff.
YouTube better because I can kind of just throw it on and
exactly
do stuff.
Yeah, during lunch break, I'll usually just put like a 15-minute video on or something from YouTube.
I always like things that are like, I like to like repost pictures. So like Mike from Charm City, like Charm City Paranormal.
Oh, they're
I tell him all the time. I'm like, I'm obsessed. Like I just like
their stuff is good, and the photography, photography is yeah. Honestly, like that's for me. I feel like I'm more so. I like seeing like photography and more so like the building. You know, like when it comes to the ghost stuff, like even like with our own stuff, I'm just like I would understand if people, don't watch all of it because it gets a little boring sometimes.
I like gadgets. I like gadgets and funny stuff.
Yeah.
Like I watch a lot like Boo Boo's shirt there, Toxic Avenger. I like stuff like that when I'm putting TV on.
That's
just
why
goofy,
like
nonsense
with
stuff.
our YouTube, like I try to kind of feel like, put fun times like our Monroe episode that yes, I did get the footage of the Pizza Man. But there's like stuff like that where I try to tie in. Elliot and I went to Billy Creek. At one point I touched something juicy under the chair. I left that in, like where I was just like, so there's just moments in there. I think there's one point where I started singing in the church. Just weird stuff.
Billy Creek was fun.
But
we went
just
there.
to kind of spruce it up a little bit, but then you got like really good solid EVPs in the middle of all of it, just kind of keep it going.
Oh yeah, exactly. And the thing is too, like, when it comes like the humor aspect, because whenever we did the tour stuff at the Carnegie Library of Homestead, we even told people, some of the nights you're just like, oh, it gets very like, I don't want to say tiresome, but if nothing's going on, you can get kind of bored, I mean, you kind of have to. What's that?
I start acting up whenever I get bored.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like, I need action.
It's not how it is on the YouTube or anything, too. Oh God!
What the hell, Bill? Get out of here!
That was one time, Bill.
One time only.
Sage asks, like, I have no attention span, so I like short clip stuff.
I was just gonna say,
I barely can watch movies for the most part.
Yeah, Elliot will put on a movie, and then like I'm like one of those where I'm like I have to finish it because we already started it, and I already did this.
I'm the same way, yeah.
Yep.
No, if it's not good in the first 10 minutes, I'm turning it off.
Yeah,
I don't have time.
I'm committed. I have to watch the entire thing from start to
Amen.
finish.
Hell yes. It's like, especially if you're like a completist, you just feel bad if you don't.
That's
even
exactly,
if it sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm really hard on this. I need to watch the whole thing.
Right.
I'm with
Please
Elliot.
just
I'm with Elliot. I can't watch it if it doesn't.
No.
It's just I can't watch it if it doesn't like excite me in the first like however many minutes, and then
that's why trauma movies are so good because something's gonna blow up within the first like seconds of the movie.
Yes.
Honestly, like for me, I like good solid like 20-30 minute type videos. Anything longer than like a half an hour, I start to get like, what time is it? I start walking around the house, I'm like, did I miss anything? All right. Like, so I don't know. Like, I'm really like busy. I'm a busy person. Like I honestly, within the last 3 days, I was telling my team, I think it was this morning, I don't know, but I talk a lot in our group chat. I within the last like 3 days, I've spent about 25 hours editing. So like with this documentary, I'm and then I'm working on other stuff too. It's just like I spent a ton of time editing and reviewing. You know, I'm the reviewer, so I got Elliot's camera, Kat, if I feel like usually with our solos, I need everybody's footage. So I'm like reviewing everything. And on top of that, on, 3 digital recorders and 4K night vision full spectrum cams, like it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I want to make sure what we have is legit. I don't want to assume that it's paranormal. I want it to make sure that it's paranormal. So that's kind of been always my biggest thing is like, I'm not going to just throw up videos for content. I am going to make sure that those videos have some solid pieces in them. So yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like hours and hours and hours of stuff. It's like on a episode of Ghost Hunters. It's like they condense everything down to like 40 minutes. Meanwhile, it was like a 7-hour stretch of stuff, and you're like, ah, crap,
Well, or like 3 days of shooting.
That's the thing. Like we've been on sets now, for these like big fancy productions and whatnot, and it's like. Just seeing the way that they film compared to like filming for YouTube, it is like, because with YouTube you get one night. The Indiana State doc, I'm not gonna say how many nights we were there, but like, and then you're only getting like an hour worth of footage, and then and it's just like,
it's crazy how much like on big productions you throw out. It's because like even on the little stuff, there's a lot. I feel like on YouTube you can condense stuff better than you can if you're making a movie, because a movie has to have a proper flow to it.
Yeah.
Right. YouTube, you can just throw it in.
And that's like why like this doc that I've been working on, it's been taking me quite some time, because it's like I can't just. You're not just throwing evidence, like it's a documentary. Like you got to make everything flow nice. You got to like introduce the location. You got to introduce the owner. You got to like slowly get to your point, which eventually becomes the dog going crazy. It was a lot of like clipping back and forth, like where it's all gonna flow nicely, instead of just having like Elliot talks, I talk, Cat talks. Like it's literally you gotta put Cat over here and then put her over here and then put her over here. And then you gotta go back to all the questions and make sure all the questions kind of line up with each other. It's a lot more work. Like I want to say this is probably the biggest project I've worked on. So,
So do you do all the editing, or does anybody else help you out?
I do all the editing.
Wow.
Pretty much. So like if you see like social media or like pretty much everything goes to her. Like scheduling this, that's her. Like I don't do that.
I could not have a full team without my team. Like Kat helps me so much with carrying stuff, and she helped. Like I'm like, Kat, please hold this camera. Like she got 2 cameras. Like Joe, he's been helping Elliot with like group stuff. Like tech stuff. Kid does great. Like if I'm not taking enough pictures, Kid's taking enough pictures. So it's like everybody does have. Everybody works, like, and I would not change a single thing. I want everybody on the team. Everybody is part of the team. And yeah, I do a good amount of work, but everybody does work, like Kat, like she drove, hey Kat, we gotta go to Pennsylvania. She's like, all right. She packs up her car. She drives to Pennsylvania. Hey, Kat, we don't got a bathroom. All right, don't need a bathroom. So she's been a huge trooper. Kid's been amazing with like whatever else. Like, hey, can you help me with this, and this?
Kid's good at
just bringing whatever he needs to do.
And now we got our roadie Boo Boo.
Now we got another set of hands.
Yeah, buddy.
It is, and everybody has their place on the team. So. Yeah, it's fun, and then we all have a good time. There's been some fun moments, like even just being in the hotel room with each other. Like
questionable hotels are very fun.
Stains on the walls.
Our buddy Mikey, whenever we came back from what was it? Not Grand Midway, Sean. It was we came back from the Crescent, and he and his wife decided to stay in a hotel. and he showed us photos of the unsanitariness of the hotel room, and you could probably guess some of the things that we saw.
So one of our hotel rooms, there was what looked like blood on the wall, in quite a few places,
And kids got to sleep.
and
right
kids slept on the floor.
Shit.
Yeah, no, we've definitely slept in places. Well, there was one that I think we were going to MadCon, and it was in Ohio again. We're in Ohio a lot, but Ohio's got some cool places.
Was that the one where there was a raid?
No, there was the freaking. I took my shoes off and my feet were sticking to the
that
floor.
was.
And I looked at my feet and they were black.
And then in
And
the
I'm
morning,
I'm putting my shoes back on. And I had to wash them in the bathroom, like scrubbing and put hand sanitizer.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was the bloodstain place.
that was the one.
The bloodstained place.
So when you guys were packing up, me and Kid were outside watching the cops kick down one of the other doors.
Oh,
It was pretty good. And then someone said they knew who we were too.
Yeah, I stepped out and some person was just like, oh, I've seen you, and I'm like, you have? Like, yeah, your stuff. Like, you guys are spooky, and I'm like, oh, I guess you have seen us. Like, it was.
Shout out to that random person in the parking lot.
Most people think we're a band, so it's cool. Yeah, that was pretty. That was a pretty cool moment. But I don't know. It's just like doing this. Besides the investigating, you just have some great times. I always tell everybody, I'm like, I'm gonna be talking to my grandkids.
yeah.
How many years? Probably by then we'll all be like robots. 80 years from now, and
Hopefully.
I'll be 120, and telling my grandkids, just all the fun stuff that we did on paranormal investigating, and just all the people you meet.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool. I'm super stoked for all these cons coming up because
That's gonna be fun.
yeah, and with Boo Boo now, now the party is just turned up another volume. So we definitely we definitely are super stoked for the Bell too. To hang with you guys with Paranormal Quest, Bonnie, Corbin, Paranormal Nightmare TV. There's a few other ones in there that I forgot, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time, and the Bell is always a beautiful location. Nick and Angie,
The
good
stairwell. The stairwell is that staircase. It's just so beautiful.
Dude, it's super, super beautiful. Just every time you leave that location, you just feel good. I want to say the Bell is probably one of our most positive locations that we go to. You just it's like when you leave that place, you feel good. You don't feel like you're haunted.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm sure there's many places you guys have been to where you leave, you're like, well, I actually feel quite nice. I don't feel anything bad.
That's how the Bell is. Honestly, every time we've left the Bell, it's just been
the spirits are usually nice at most places.
For the most part,
it's pretty rare that I feel like the ones that really stand out are the ones that are mean. But spirits that just want to party.
They just want
Holden. They just want popcorn.
But yeah, it's a journey, and it's been freaking awesome. We have our ups and downs, but I have more ghost stories to tell people, and they just don't stop, and they keep coming. And
Hey, Crowley. Oh man, whenever you guys
talking about all the teams at Bell Mansion, that's part of the reason we're doing this podcast is we're trying to have everybody on that's on that flyer. The only one we haven't heard back from is Paranormal Nightmare, but everybody else is going to be on. Either was on or is going to be on in the next few weeks.
That's awesome. That's awesome that you guys are doing that. Because I don't know, it gets the people out, and it kind of gives people what to expect from each team if they're curious. If they haven't met you, here's ACG. We're all over the place. ADHD and like we're all about the music and just zoning out, and we don't stop talking, especially. But
hey, bring it.
Which I still got to talk to Angie and Nick too, but I'll probably have Angie and Nick on probably like the week right before.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's, I feel like people throw the word para-unity around so much, but I feel like that's literally like that's it. If you're anything, like just getting people on and talking about paranormal stuff and letting the people know the people, which is I'm like looking into the audience. Like just kind of promoting everybody. We love. That's why I was doing
the the Fortnite event. That was pretty fun. But
I had no clue what the hell I was doing.
You don't need to know what you're doing. You were doing good. Your person was moving around. You seemed like you had fun. I'll probably have another one probably in February or something.
Okay.
To have like everybody on because it's fun.
Well, there's also just a lot of like paranormal teams too, and it's like it's just kind of
there
good
are
to know.
So many. Every time I look, there's I think I know like half the people, and then it's like wow, there's more. A bunch of teams that I've never heard of.
Like I'm sure there's quite a few people that haven't heard about us, and like there's people that I haven't heard of, and like it is cool because like now like Corbin, like you can see a little bit more about him, and
it's cool to find new content too. It's like this person's doing something different,
I mean that's like the main reason why I got back on Facebook is to meet people. Like I. For 4 years there, I didn't have a freaking Facebook because I'm like, I don't want anything to do with Facebook.
Facebook is still like half the time. It's all right. It's okay.
I think if you use it wisely,
for its intended purpose.
Yeah. I mean, well, look at this. Yeah. Like, we would not all be here today if I didn't, have a Facebook. I wouldn't know who you people are.
Oh, yeah.
Kat, I mean, I've known her since high school, but like, I wouldn't have known you, Sean, or Philip, or Jen. Yeah. So it's cool. It's cool that you can connect with so many different people out there, and I don't know. I just love seeing how other people like what they got to bring to the table, because like in this. Nobody is doing it 100% correct. Everybody does everything different, and it's just how like life goes, Like, and I feel like if I see something that I like, I'm gonna start incorporating that into our investigations too. And no matter how long you've been doing this, you can always learn more. Like take everybody as a lesson, even the bad ones. Like even if you have beef with someone, I'm sure you learned something from them at some point.
Well, I'd say like 90% of my social media has to do with bumping the night. Then the other 10% is my own personal stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I think I probably see like my paranormal buddies more than my actual family that helped bring me into this world. It's just the crazy part too. It's like I was even telling Sean, since starting this whole thing with them, and my calendars of the last 2 years, there's been so many black market events all the time. Like I think every single month something was going on at least once a week.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap, And I like it though. It keeps me young and sort of youthful.
Honestly, it keeps you out of trouble too.
It's cool too because we learn like so many new places from everyone. Like we were doing this together for like almost 10 years. Like just like her tricking me into going to haunted locations on vacation.
I love that.
That I didn't know were haunted, but
I mean, you even get to learn like more so about like your teammates too. Like Kid, like I guarantee you, Kid like 2 years ago wouldn't have, he has his anxiety. He wouldn't have been coming out, and exploring the paranormal. Like, and it's just kind of cool seeing people kind of step out of their shell, and like just bringing them out a little bit more. And like with Boo Boo had, Elliot has known Boo Boo, but I've known Boo Boo for a limited time, and I talk to him almost every day. Like it's cool because you get to kind of connect with people even that you've known for a while or haven't known.
It definitely does reconnect you with people. Like it's an interesting thing,
Like Kat I saw her in theater like 15 years ago. But other than that, like Kat and I, we just got busy with our lives, and it's kind of cool bringing everybody just together. And honestly, like you learn from each other, and it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Heck yeah. Now, like whenever you guys first started too, like was it tough to kind of, I'm sure like everybody has a foundation when it comes to certain things too. Was it like easy to just go in, or was there a lot of trial and error in the beginning, or?
Definitely a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
Like me going solo.
Well, you were the main experience.
Yeah. In the beginning of time, there was like a little bit of issues. Like I actually wound up joining, like when I first wanted to go into the paranormal community, I was like, where do I start? Because I did all of my investigating I started when I was 12. I used to visit this place called Mantino State Hospital. And that's kind of where I started doing a lot of like my exploring. And it was an old mental hospital. And from there, cemeteries that were nearby. And then I started going to businesses, like local businesses, like just literally would go up to the owner and be like, hey, you got any ghosts here? Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny.
And sometimes they were like, get out of my shop. The other times, like, they were like, yeah, actually, we do have ghosts, and then I would just literally just be like, like, you can stay here, like, in the shop. Like, I don't need to be alone. I'm like, but can I just investigate, like, after hours? So most of my early years were just me, small museums, local businesses. I would take the train into the city and go to the Congress Hotel. Did a lot of like El Capone's old places, old hotels, and it kind of started from there. And ever since then, I wanted to branch out and kind of do more so like more asylums and more, prisons and like, because I did like little jails. It didn't do anything like OSR. And so I joined a team, and that team just didn't work out. We just didn't see, like, my thing has always been very much respect. I learned that from my grandparents, and the respect wasn't there. So, especially for the location. And I was just like, I'm not feeling this, but I really enjoy this. Like, I really enjoy, like, being out and meeting people that are, talk about people that I've watched since I was, 15 years old. And they're like, oh, yeah, he comes by all the time. And, like, people that I've read books about, authors, and they're, oh, yeah, like, he's my buddy. And, oh, hey, I wrote my own book, and then I just go, I'm all about it. And then I buy the person's book, and I'm like, this is so cool. There's other people out there that love the paranormal as much as I do. So I wanted to continue. I just didn't know, like, I'm going to start my own team. I'm going to see if there's other people that are interested and are passionate about this as much as, like, I am. And I came really close to just going back to solo. And one day we stopped. I think I was still on the other team, and I stopped at Madison Seminary. And the staff there pretty much convinced me, like, it was kind of like one of those signs, like, you got to keep going. So, like,
Jeff is an angel.
Shout out to Jeff Fent from Madison.
I think Jeff Fent is an angel. I don't know that he's earthly. I think he's like ascended or something.
When we met him, he inspired me.
He appeared on the top floor of
all of a sudden he's just like this maintenance, like, hello. But Boo-Boo's back.
Boo-Boo back.
Boo-Boo.
Sorry, guys.
But so with that, I had a lot of trial and error with people, just how I wanted to present the team. That's kind of been our thing, is respect. That's kind of just been my number one rule. And with some people, some people are not about respect. So that's been kind of my main thing. If they weren't like on the same, and then there's some people that like I'm like, you got to put some work into this. Like this isn't like things aren't just going to be handed to you. And there are just some people that I went through that they got busy lives, and I'm just like,
yeah, it's not. I mean, it is a lot of work to be on like a paranormal team. Like some people, some people like smaller local stuff, and that's good. That's awesome. Like there's so many different facets of paranormal investigating that like whatever you like, you can fall into whatever category you want to do.
Yeah,
exactly.
And for us, it's like I really haven't branched out much. Like I've done East Coast stuff, I've done Salem, like I've done Gettysburg. I haven't really done much of the Midwest, even though I live in the Midwest. Like I've done Chicagoland. I've done, Chicago was kind of the main one, Illinois especially. But we're kind of branching more so out into like Iowa, doing Wisconsin a little bit more, which are just places I've lived by. Just never really investigated there, I've gone all the way out to like Arizona, did some ghost towns out there. But yeah, there's so many places that I want to go. And it's either like, hey, like all I need you to do is be respectful, make sure you communicate back with me, and make sure you're kind to people, and come aboard. Like, but other than that, it does take communication. Like when I'm saying like, hey, we have a meeting, or hey, like we're gonna go do a photo shoot, like that costs money.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, I need people to understand that. I need people to respect that, and everybody that's on the team now, they get it. And but
yeah, it's not a cheap hobby. It's,
yeah.
a cheap thing.
No. So yeah, definitely trial and error.
Not that it can't be. You can investigate local places. You can investigate like local cemeteries. Yeah. If you're just getting started, don't let that deter you.
Right. And I mean, like here you have a girl that has been doing this for 20 years, and it's like I literally started with like nothing. Like I had a digital recorder, and I had like a camera on that little dinky square thing, and like that was all I had, and like I've literally had to build myself up. I remember the first time I got my SB7, lost my shit. I was just like, I got one. And then from there we got more equipment, and then all of a sudden, like, I met Elliot, and he's like, I'm gonna build it now, and I'm like, yes, now I can have spirit boxes all throughout my house. So it's just, I don't know, like there's so much that you can and have to go through. You're not gonna wake up one morning and have the best camera. You're not gonna have all the equipment. You're not gonna have the knowledge. Like it takes time, and it takes practice, and it takes effort, and it's totally okay if you do not have a $3,000 camera. It's totally okay to not have the Zoom, 360 audio.
One of the best things to have right here.
Yes,
phones are amazing.
Great. Yes, amen to that. Amen.
Phones have been a blessing.
Yes.
Most of our YouTube videos are phones. Well, I got my full spectrums, but it kind of bounces back from full spectrums to phones. So yeah, you do not need fancy stuff to be a paranormal investigator. You do need respect, though. So.
Yes.
The ghosts do 100% vibe checks, and they will not. They will not talk to people that are there for
just
profiting off of them or to be mean to them.
No, they're not performers. And they know that, and it's kind of like with everything. Like you meet people, and you can tell like right away if this person's actually being like genuine, or if they're bullshitting.
Right.
Like.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the same with ghosts. Ghosts can like they know people. They know more than you know yourself sometimes. Yep. So.
Yep. It's like walking into a place. You're just walking into some new friend's home. Don't touch things you shouldn't touch. Just do what you got to do and have a good time. And if something happens, great. If not, then better luck next time, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, is there anything you guys want to promote?
Pretty much everything I just talked The Bell Mansion, March 4th. Be there. You're just not cool. No, you're cool. You're cool. Everybody's cool.
Get to hang out with all of us.
Hell yeah, we're fun.
Yeah, come hang out, come party with us. I always say like let's pair a party because like honestly like
that.
when I meet people, you know, and I get to talk with people, like this is what I love to do. This is what we love to do.
We might have breadsticks.
We might have our thing is we always order breadsticks from Olive Garden.
You can get unlimited breadsticks to go.
Sometimes I hand them out.
Can I get one autographed?
I've never had somebody autograph a breadstick before.
Never eat that breadstick. Like, but, nah, you can eat it. But yeah, so March 4th, that's one. April 9th, if you're in Milwaukee and you're all about the FurCon or you just want to try something
come
new.
To the ghost panel.
Yeah, we're having a panel. I forget the name. It starts with an S. It's something FurCon. The only FurCon that's in Milwaukee, the weekend of April 9th, 10th. And then April 22nd, for sure. Like if you're in the Midwest area, come out to Broadhead Manor for Spirits in the Spring. We're going to be doing a panel there. We got our buddies from 28 Haunted Nights. I was going to say Haunted Days. No, Haunted Days. Haunted Nights is Stephen Dillon.
Haunted Nights. I've been playing with their little face mask here.
Haunted Days.
Not
Nick and Aaron, they're going to be there. Patty from Ghost Adventures is going to be there. Natalie Jones, all the Paraflix people. So if you're in the area, definitely come out to that. Nick Sarlo did a great job putting it together. For now, I think that's the only thing that we can really announce in the public. Oh, and then make sure
your thing.
I keep forgetting my documentary.
Night of the Undead.
Night of the Undead
came out yesterday, and we got a cameo in it.
Elliot and I have.
Awesome. Where can you watch that at?
10-second thing.
I believe it's on Tubi and Amazon Prime.
You can buy it at Walmart.
You can buy it on Walmart.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Anyway, so that too, and then yes, the documentary I've been working on. I will be, if you're wondering when it's coming out, I will be posting updates for that too. So just look at the ACG page, look at my page. I'm sure Kat's gonna share it. I'm sure Boo Boo's gonna share it. Yeah, just keep your eye out for that. So I am horrible at self-promoting. I'm great with promoting others, but myself, I'm working on it. But yeah, there we go. There it is. There's everything you gotta look out for. But definitely come out to the Bell Mansion.
Perfect. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Good time.
We're gonna have a hotel somewhere.
I think we're getting an Airbnb. We've been talking about it. So yeah.
Oh, are we gonna show up?
Yes.
Oh man. Yeah,
I keep freezing up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Sean, what's going on, man?
Are you here now, Sean?
Yeah, I'm here now. I heard you say something about something, but then it cut right off.
Airbnb in Indiana. She said, "Are we going to show up?" I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
I have my freaking LED hula hoop, and we're gonna load just party in this Airbnb. These poor people. So I got my hoop.
They just check their security camera, and we're all just dancing with a spirit box blaring.
When we were at DeadCon, I don't know, Elliot just seriously just will whip out stuff
Elliot, you dog.
Literally just
It's only for the closet at Greenville.
Oh.
Phil that did that.
I thought Phil was the only one with a bump in the night thong.
We were
really.
Where were we? DeadCon.
We were at DeadCon.
I whipped out.
He whipped out glow sticks.
Glow sticks.
Just on the or out of nowhere, just he's I got this, and we're just all right, like, and just all started having the glow. I don't know. Where did you get those glow sticks?
I carry them with us. With
Oh
our
yeah, because of
equipment.
paranormal equipment. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway,
There's a reason I'm the tech. You would forget stuff. We don't really use the glow sticks that much though. They're pretty
Not
good.
really.
They're good for if
No.
you want to see if a shadow figure is gonna pass down a hall, especially at Indiana State. That's why I had them. But I like our
I've
laser.
had some in my bag forever, and I've never used them.
Yeah,
Really?
laser grid works a little better.
Oh. Oh, that's funny. I think Sean keeps freezing up on us. No, he's not. I thought he was freezing up.
He's very slow. I see a nice
very
bump going on.
slow.
thawing out.
I was freezing up again.
Oh, we lost a
Oh
gen.
no!
We're losing
crap.
everybody.
And she said hers froze too. It must be something with the Wi-Fi because we're on the same Wi-Fi.
I was gonna say, are you guys like on the same
Oh
Wi-Fi?
yeah.
Oh,
Because it
hell.
seems like you're on the same Wi-Fi.
There's Jen's back.
Hello.
Mine's all clear over here.
We are on the same Wi-Fi.
Oh, that's funny.
Wait,
I don't have to
I'm
worry
But thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
You're not
thank
even
you.
on
Thank
my
you.
screen, Sean.
What's that?
Thank you for having us.
Whoop, whoop. You guys are
For
amazing
sure.
as always. Love each and every one of you. Cannot wait to give you all huge hugs. It's gonna be amazing.
Dude, bring that freaking head. Like that's
Bring
all,
the
like,
giant head. I didn't get to meet Bumpy at OSR. I got distracted by all the tables.
Elliot, like for real,
I'm
is
bad
just
at
like,
conventions.
I want Bumpy, and then like he was looking for you, and then I don't think he ever saw you, and he's like, I missed Bumpy. Like, sorry. Bring the head, like
For sure.
Maybe I'll get it. Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much, guys. It was indeed
Thank
a
you for
pleasure
having
having
Thank
all of
you so much.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Can't wait to see you
You
guys.
guys are
Yes.
awesome.
You
I
too.
love
Great.
you all.
Yes.
It's gonna be a party.
Yeah. Rock and roll, baby.
Have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Thank
Later. I was waiting for the last part.
Thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can find us here, and here, and here. Don't forget, everybody needs a little bump in the night.